Well, you guys will have a good time. We'll talk to you later. I want to say good evening to you all. How is everyone doing this evening?
Well,
First, we would like to begin by thanking you for allowing us to co-create this event in this space and time as you create it to exist. The channel previously communicated to us and mentioned earlier, we were eavesdropping by the way, that he wanted us to speak about Atlantis. We don't really have much information that we find relevant at this point to communicate. We'll answer any questions you may have about Atlantis, but we're on a path of trying to help move forward with humanity and individuals as well. We're helping in what is culminating into the end of a crystallization in humanity that started approximately in your year of 2010, famously known as December 21st, 2012, was actually what is called the pivot point, ending in about the year of 2015. So by 2016, you'll kind of look back and not necessarily recognize all that you know now or knew then. There are both energetic and, or as you would understand, spiritual revelations and changes that will be coming, as well as physiological changes that will be happen to people. One thing we've communicated to in our last session was that the lifespan of most humans will naturally, in the beginning, last to approximately 120 of your years. One moment. So we'll wrap up what we were saying about the old souls being more evolved or less evolved. It's, as with everything, a perspective of how things are. Or, for example, time is just a perspective, a different perspective of the now. So, 5 minutes from now is a different perspective. Think of it as a film script where you're looking. So, 5 minutes into a film is just a perspective of that strip of film. So, in some perspectives where the souls that have not incarnated into this limitation, it could be viewed as not necessarily less evolved, but less experienced. Does that answer your question? Okay. So, with that, we'll move into and speak on one topic that has come up in a past reading or session. It was in a group session that we spoke of hybrid children. Are you aware of what we're talking about?
are they the crystal children and the indigo children, or are they alien mixed?
The latter.
Alien mixed, okay.
Yes. There, and would you like to know about yours?
Sure.
You have two.
I have three.
You have, oh, okay. We're only aware of two of the energies. Understand you will get to physically meet them, physically and consciously meet them very soon.
Oh, you mean my children now that I am?
No, your hybrid children.
Well, the hybrid children, how are they related to me? Are they the physical children I have now?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so you were referring to your physical children.
Of course, that's the only ones I know.
Right. So you have two hybrid children.
Where are they?
They are currently with the race known as the Yael,
Mm-hmm.
who will be the first extraterrestrial race. We won't say alien because they are more humanoid. Alien would be considered something that's not in a humanoid form, for example.
But off of this planet.
Correct.
So what we're talking about is off of this planet.
Correct.
A human form off of this planet.
Correct.
Not exactly like us, but similar.
Correct. You could tell by meeting a member of the Yael race that they're not quite human. We're all hybrid in ways and have been for eons. For example, before humanity, the creator or one of the progenitors, we'll use the term, is the Pleiades race, or a race from the Pleiadian star system as you would understand it.
Are they associated with the Egyptians?
They did have some interactions, but not as direct as you might think. There were some that had interaction in a direct way in what we will term mystery schools.
Okay.
So the Pleiadians were in turn a hybrid race who we're not allowed to say what we will term their parents, but their grandparents were Arcturian. So understand that everyone really is hybrid when you think about it, or when we look throughout a linear history. And so the hybrid children that are coming, and not everyone rather, have a hybrid child or hybrid children. A lot do. Most that are open to, or rather not become freaked out by meeting an extraterrestrial,
Mm-hmm.
generally will have, or probably have, a hybrid child or children. Todd has 3. When the Yael, which by the way, they will be the first alien race to physically meet or land on the White House lawn, for example, that's not exactly where they're going to initiate first public contact. Understand, we brought the topic of the hybrid children up to initiate thoughts to the reasons why. Because when the Yael are introduced into what you understand or call society, the hybrid children will be here. They're kind of understand a middle ground energetically between you and other races that will follow in the footsteps of the Yael. You guys were previously talking about the Sasani race. They will actually be the 3rd race to contact you. So the hybrid children are coming to help assist those that have chosen this path, that have chosen to stay on this journey, to help to raise the vibrations to a degree that won't adversely affect them when the other races are introduced. Because understand, if, for example, are you familiar with the race called the Anunnaki?
Yes.
If one were to appear right now in this room, their rate of vibration is to a degree that it would affect your vibrations, that you would instantly disappear out of this linear corporeal existence.
Okay, so they are very high vibration.
Yes.
High vibration. Well,
and understand, we're not talking, or we're not referring to what most people call the Anunnaki is, or not the most, but a lot of people will think of, we'll say, the Roswell gray aliens. Those aren't Anunnaki.
What are they?
Those are, the best way to define that race is a de-evolved version of humanity. So understand that when the DNA strands are activated in the manner in which you're asking, there will also be an infusion of DNA from 1 to 2 other races as we perceive the energy flows at this moment. In approximately 500 years, there will be many different races upon the planet.
Why are they coming here?
Why not?
Why aren't, I would assume that they're at a higher level, higher vibrational level, higher intellectual level.
Yes.
And why would they come down to this kindergarten?
So understand, there's a couple of things we'll respond with you on that. So first, and most importantly, this is not a kindergarten level class. This is a master's class.
What you're teaching now?
Yes, no, what you're learning in these incarnations on this planet.
Okay.
So never consider yourself a kindergarten level class. This incarnating on this planet with the level of limitations that you have chosen to experience is something that is not experienced anywhere else in creation. And understand this, when we say in creation, goes across multiple universes.
I understand.
So, understand this is a very unique experience to a very small select group at this point. At certain points throughout history, there have been a fluctuation of souls, of the number of souls that have been incarnated. And understand there's more that's not only incarnated but interact, as we do, for example. But this is definitely not, a junior level class. This is you're getting to the finish line kind of class. We.
Are you talking about all the people on Earth?
Yes, and understand at this moment, there's approximate, so do you understand the term when we say oversoul?
Yes.
Okay. So understand that there are infinite levels and majors and minors to the existence of your soul and spirit. And so with that, and I know that's a little ambiguous, but it goes to infinity. So it's the veil in combination with spoken language is difficult to translate that.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the relevancy of alien children when I don't even know I have them?
They will be helping to again, they will be helping you to...
Me personally?
Yes. And understand you don't have to, you might not necessarily, well, I don't want to raise any more kids. You don't have to. Others will be willing to accept those into their family. And we're not making any assumptions on your part. Now to go back to the other, and we will explain this in a way that we want to stress not to be taken in any sort of negative connotation or negative light. Most hybrid children were created through what you would understand as that has been called alien abduction. Are there any more questions?
I've heard the terms other frequencies or other levels of vibration, and I've heard the term alternate universes, or I think an equivalent phrase. Are they interchangeable?
In one sense, slightly, but not really. So, what was the
One was alternate universes.
Okay.
Or concurrent.
alternate universes? How we would define that is whether you turn left or right, you actually make both choices, and then in the end, you will culminate back into one. And I'm sure you are all familiar with, I know Edgar Cayce had spoken on the reality of oneness. This is kind of part of it. So every decision you ever have, you've made both. And you're constantly changing realities many times a second.
But being on a different frequency isn't equivalent to being in a different vibrational level.
Yes, now that would be equivalent. So, because vibrations are frequencies, and it can be translated down into a mathematical term as well. So, quantum science is realizing a lot of what they consider new things that are really old things. For example, teleportation is very possible. In fact, one of the accelerator labs has been able to teleport one atom. It's, from our perspective, quite easy to do, but you have to understand the concepts to do it. There's your vibrational frequency, and which is part of the location, but there's other contributing factors to add in as well, time being a coordinate as well. So, but yes, there's not really a difference between vibrational levels and frequency.
Edgar Cayce said that we would be finding documents which would reveal to us many of the mystery school secrets, or things that were known, like we lost so much information from the library in Alexandria when that went into the ocean.
Yes.
And I know that knowledge is in the Akashic records, all that knowledge, but will it come down here so that we can reap the benefit of all that knowledge that was so prevalent at that time, and I think was very advanced?
To a degree, yes. And understand the Hall of Records that Edgar Cayce referred to under the foot of, or the paw of the Sphinx, has been isolated in a way by the Egyptian government. There is dogmatic views and fears involved there, but are quickly starting to dissipate. And at a certain point, we feel there will be a reveal. There have been some discoveries made. The ones we're referring to at this point are about a lot of the underground systems. the more accurate word for this, under the pyramids and the Sphinx, it's actually about a 7 square mile city underneath. And that has been discovered. It's not public knowledge yet. It's coming out slowly. And even in today's electronic world, it still takes several decades for discoveries to become mainstream knowledge. That too will be going away pretty soon.
So what you're saying is that they already have that information.
Yes, some do.
Okay, so all that information that was under the paw of the Sphinx.
No, that specifically hasn't been accessed yet. It's
But they know it's there?
yes, and even at the physiological level, in the late 90s, they detected that there was a chamber down there. It's not quite accessible yet. There's going to need to be a person of a certain vibrational frequency to be able to access that chamber.
Okay.
Is very similar in, well, there is a doorway close to the not quite at the end of the paw, but almost directly under the head on that paw. It could be opened through technological manipulation, by directing vibrational energy or vibrational frequencies at it to open that doorway. But those that know how to alter their vibrational frequency now could actually open the doorway themselves naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel that's really that's actually how that one will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And there will also be another Hall of Records. Is not really accurate, but repository would be the best term for it, in the Yucatan area that will also be revealed.
There's another depository in the Yucatan.
Yes, and there's actually 3. There's one in the United States that has not even been talked about until now.
Where is it located?
Understand it's very deep, buried, but it's in what you would understand or call the Ohio area.
Ohio. Does it have to do with that serpentine thing? That's you can see from the air, the serpent, but you can't see it on the ground?
No, this is in would be it's in a wooded area at the moment. If the trees were cut down, but the reason it's not cut down is because it's actually a pyramid under it, and it's quite tall. So they don't want to clear that land because it'd be too much trouble, going up a hill.
But they know that.
No, they don't. No one really knows that's a pyramid under there, and there are a few though that do. There's some forensic archaeologists. There's one in Minnesota that's aware of many things, and if you're interested, you can follow a lot of his work. He explores a lot of the ancient structures and so forth in the United States.
Indeed.
I think we're getting anxious here because it's 9:15. Does anybody have any other questions?
I don't.
It was so interesting, Todd, and I can't pronounce your name.
Tiamat.
Tiamat. It was so interesting talking to you. I feel like you've cleared up a lot of things for me, and I surely appreciate your being present through Todd at this time.
And we would like to thank you as well. We have enjoyed our sharing of information with you. We look forward to future opportunities